Hey, good morning, Jerry. How are you doing?
Butter, how you doing today, man?
Oh, I'm doing great. Hey, good to see you. I'm so excited to have you as my second guest on the Lead Different podcast. And as you know, as you would expect from me, Jerry, I'm doing something different. I've decided to do these premieres where I get to have you on and we get to chat a little bit before I share our interview that we recorded a couple of weeks ago. But thank you for being on. I know you've got an exciting project that you're a part of, and we're going to talk about it during the podcast. But I want to invite people, if you're tuning in live, Jerry and I are going to be in the background. We're going to be looking at your comments. We're going to be on LinkedIn. We're on Facebook and on YouTube. And, this is an opportunity. I don't know how often you get an opportunity to get someone like Jerry live to answer questions. We're going to talk a lot about his own mastermind. We're going to talk about the Direction Company and that mastermind experience that I went through. And we're going to get a chance to ask questions of Jerry that I've asked him on the podcast already, but you'll be able to ask him questions live. So, Jerry, I know you love this technology stuff. I mean, are you so excited to use this new technology?
Coming from you, I knew it'd be different. And I still deserve my name of Low Tech Lujan, so I'm doing the best I can here. But yeah, it's cool. It's unique, that's for sure.
It was fun. Jerry, we had a chance to play some golf the other day with a couple of friends. And what I really enjoyed, and it's so funny because as we were talking throughout the day, the fun that we had, and we had a group of everybody in the group had the Y of contribute somewhere in there. And then we have a bunch of better way and a couple of challengers. It's no wonder we had such a good time, right?
That's right. That was
predictable, right? And you know what, it's amazing that one of the things that I've learned in working with you is talking about systematizing. I literally just got off the phone with Nikki. We're working on creating systems and systematizing and being able to predict as much as you can so that you can flex when you have to. And with me, you have to flex a lot of the time. So it's good to have predictability wherever you can plug it in.
Yeah, your gift is randomness, that's for sure. So having systems around you is critical. So what's that saying? Systemize everything that is predictable so that we have the time, energy, and resources for the unpredictable. So you get the best of both worlds.
And you can have fun with the unpredictable because everything else is getting taken care of. So Sunil and Nikki and I are working on all of that stuff. And we have you to thank for all that. So without any further ado, Jerry, I'm going to turn on the podcast. You and I are going to go into the background. And then, as I've said, let's see, I don't know if we have any comments yet, but as the comments come in, you and I are going to respond to the comments. We're going to have some banners that we put up. We wanted to share some information about the Direction Company. It's scrolling across the bottom there for those of you that are interested. And we're going to talk about it during the interview. But thank you, Jerry, for being on. Thank you for being the second guest on the Lead Different podcast. And let's show everybody what we're talking about here.
My pleasure. Thanks, Butter. Dan.
Thank you.
You'll have to explain Butter sometime.
Yeah, you might as well tell them the story, Jerry.
Yeah, so when Dan was a chief sales officer for the Y Institute, he would do things and we would just say, Butter, man, that was really smooth. And so what was it you that said, yeah, smooth like butter? Or
I think
Gary or somebody said, so I'm a nickname guy. And so it was like, okay, there it is. You're Butter from now on. So I don't even refer to you as Dan anymore, really. But for those that now they know that they can call you Butter too.
Well, everybody knows you're a coach, but nobody knows you're a former baseball coach. And baseball coaches love nicknames. Everybody's got to have a nickname, and so my nickname is Butter. So I think we'll reserve that. But if you're listening and you call me Butter, now I'll know why you do it. So, all right, let's show everybody what we're talking about, Jerry. Let's share your episode.
All right, thanks.
Welcome to Lead Different, the podcast that redefines leadership and challenges the status quo. Hosted by Daniel Dominguez, founder and CEO of Why Not Leadership. This show is your compass to becoming a better leader through the power of self-awareness. Good leaders foster teams that are engaged, empowered, and energized. Join us on this transformative journey as we equip you with the tools and insights to lead different. Get ready to challenge the ordinary and embrace self-aware leadership. This is Lead Different.
Subscribe now. Discover a new era of leadership. Lead different because great leaders change the world.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lead Different podcast. Today, I am delighted to introduce you to my good friend, my coach, somebody I've had the pleasure of working with for the last 4 years, CEO and founder of Elevation 180, Jerry Lujan. He is a seasoned entrepreneur and the driving force behind Elevation 180, a transformative coaching and mentoring organization that empowers individuals and businesses to achieve lifelong sustainable results, greater freedom, and a bigger future. And I'm not just saying that because he's helped me do those things. He's got a remarkable history. His heritage is rooted in New Mexico since the 1600s. His journey started in the insurance industry and it spans 3 generations. He gained over 30 years of experience as an insurance agency owner, sales producer, and sales manager. And he made history as the first to attain a $1 million book of business. However, this milestone came at the cost of 80+ hour work weeks, as you guys can probably imagine. His legacy lies in his ability to inspire positive transformation, enabling others to reach their highest potential and create a better future for themselves, their families, their clients, and their community. Welcome to the show, Jerry.
Thanks, Dan. Happy to be here.
Man, I'm so glad you're here, Jerry. You are, if I haven't said it, you are one of my favorite humans in the entire world. I truly am blessed to have you in my corner, by being someone that I can go to, that can run ideas by. And the fact that you give me the bro discount, I can because we live in Albuquerque, as I know that this is a high ticket coach that we're talking to today.
Well, thanks for being here. Those are kind words, and I feel the same way about you.
So Jerry, let's talk about. Hey, just before we got on, I got an email from Elevation 180 making an exciting announcement. It said the next new generation is here. Kelly A. Lujan is now a partner. So your daughter, Kelly Lujan, who is one of the brightest young minds that I know, has been working with you for a few years, and she's now a partner at Elevation 180. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, man, we are so excited. It's kind of a full circle for us. Some of the backdrop on that is when she was 5 years old. She asked me for an appointment to take her to the park. And when we got there, she asked me why I didn't love her. And part of the introduction that you said, that of growing a business and what it took, led me to working 80 to sometimes 100 hours a week. And until she asked me for that appointment to take her to the park, I didn't really have a better way, a different way how to grow my business. And it almost cost me my family. And so as a result of that conversation, completely changed the way I did business. And over the next 4 years, I found a better way, and we quadrupled our production and did it in about half the amount of time. And so the blessing was I didn't miss it. The kids growing up, and come full circle now, her being a partner in the business is just a thrill, and has actually given me renewed life to continue to grow and have fun. And now working with Kelly. So what a joy and a pleasure and a blessing.
Well, Jerry, you bring up there's a lot to unpack there. First of all, what a great joy it is to have your daughter join your business. And I know for a fact that what a key member of the team she is for you, how much she puts into making Elevation 180 work. And I also know how talented she is and how hard you had to work just to get her to come back to Albuquerque and get her to work for you. But I'm so proud of Kelly, so happy for you. I think that's going to be, that just says nothing but good things about the future for Elevation 180. Let's switch topics real quick, because you mentioned a better way. And we know that, for those of you that watch Why Not Wednesday before we had the Lead Different podcast, I had Jerry on. His why is better way, his how is clarify, and his what is contribute. And man, everything you just talked about really hit up on your why of finding a better way, finding clarity, and then contributing to the success, not only of the people that you coach, the businesses that you impact, the enterprises that you were a part of, but also positively impacting your own family. And that is a better way to do business. And what I love about that, Jerry, and I want you to talk about it because you've done it. I'm trying to do it. Somebody told me, Dan, what do you mean you're starting your own business, you're starting a whole new venture, and you're putting as one of your top 3 goals to spend more time with your family? Yeah. And that sounds counterproductive, right? If you're starting a new business, all your focus should be on that. And I'm saying, you know what? I think there's a better way to do it, and I think we can try to do both. Tell us how you were able to do it, Jerry, because you've grown an amazing business and were able to be a part of your family.
Yeah. So when you talk about better way and clarify and contribute, Dan, it was one of the game changers for me when I figured that out. We had some successes over time, but there was times when I almost felt like I didn't know what better way was, but I almost felt like it was a curse, because every time I would develop something, I would want to transfer to somebody and dig into something else. And that's kind of how I freed myself up. But I kind of felt like I was on a roller coaster at times until I discovered my YOS, and I realized that instead of it being a curse, it was my gift. And as a result of that, when I keep those 3 things in sequence, at the end of the day, contributing is a key thing that I have to do. And so it's not only contributing to my success, but my family's, the community, my clients, everybody else. So it's a major focus that we go through, and I use it as a filter for what role that I play and what role that I don't. And so when you talk about how can you grow a business and have more time or energy or freedom to spend with your family, when I live into my YOS, it comes pretty naturally, because now I feel like I do fewer things, but I do them better. And so I have more time, actually, which, you're right, seems totally counterintuitive, counterproductive, but that's how it works.
And you preach that, and you say, do less things better. Don't try to be everything to everyone. You not only preach it, but you live it. But then again, we're going to talk about the other project that the reason we're talking today is I want to talk about your other company that you and Kelly are involved with, the Direction Company. I was approached by you, and you and Kelly were nice enough to say, hey, Dan, check out what we're building. You and Tyler and Kelly and I met, and you invited me to go through this course, the Catalyst for Lifelong Direction. And I got to tell you, Jerry, I got so much out of that. There were a lot of stepping stones that I had to take to make the decision to go out on my own, but this was one that really cemented it for me. Everybody has heard of Think and Grow Rich. The book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. This is based on the 16 laws of success that Napoleon Hill wrote before Think and Grow Rich. Tell us where that came from. I know there's a history with your dad, Mr. Lujan. So tell us about how that came to be, and just give us a little bit of history on why you started it, how your dad impacted you, and what you're doing with it now.
Yeah. So back to the concept of better way, our philosophy is everyone we connect with elevates their performance. So it's, again, filters of what we get involved in. And over time, I guess I can start with, ever since I was a teenager, I would see my dad virtually every night when I got home after dinner. He would be in his favorite chair reading this big, thick red book. I didn't really know what it was, but he read it for years and years and years, is still reading it. Well, over time, what he would do is he would have a family gathering every Sunday night after dinner, and he would ask us questions. And, what was our week what did our week look like? What worked? What's going to happen in the next week? He would say, plan your work and work your plan. And then he would always ask us a question, and he would leave us with a question to ponder during the week. And the next Sunday, we'd have to answer what our thinking was about the question. Well, little did I know, until I started wanting to check out this book that he was reading for myself, little did I know that those questions came out of the Napoleon Hill book, 16 Laws of Success. He lived his life by it. And when we got in business together, the culture and the foundation of it was based on those principles. they had such an impact on me when I started having kids. I started utilizing those same principles with my kids. And long and short, over time, he would talk about these principles, even was honored to get an honorary doctorate degree at New Mexico State University, his alma mater, and he gave the commencement address, and it was about the 16 laws. And as a result of that, people started calling him saying, I need to learn more and more about this. So he created a class and started teaching the class. And the impact that it started having, not only on our family and our insurance business, but on the community, my mind, as a better way, started saying, we need to share this at a much higher level. And so Tyler Buffett, a partner in the business, had an idea that let's create a class, online class, where people could learn these principles. Over time, when Kelly moved back to Albuquerque, she got involved and put so much more structure to this. But we decided that we felt it would be better not only to have the book and the principles of the book, but we went out and interviewed people in today's world that live those principles at the highest level. And we were phenomenally lucky and fortunate to the people that said yes. And so we interviewed them based on different principles and how they live them. And then we created a scorecard for people to be able to self-assess themselves and where they are within these principles. And I'm so excited to say we've launched it. It's out now. It's having a phenomenal impact on a lot of people. Everyone now has access to it. And so we were thrilled when you were interested in it and wanted to participate in it and went through it. And so it's out there and now impacting a lot of people.
And you're being modest, Jerry, because let me tell you that if that scorecard, I will tell you, you want to talk about a kick in the behind, a Akita, as I like to call it. You sit there and you evaluate yourself before you read each chapter. And then you listen to these amazing mentors talk about that law of success, the 16 habits that lead to success. And this is a who's who, Jerry. I mean, you've got Gino Wickman does the chapter on self-control. Brian Green, good friend of yours, was a New Mexico State head baseball coach who's now at Wichita State. He talks about pleasing personality. You got Nota Begay out of the PGA Tour talking about concentration. Scott Mann talking about cooperation. I mean, if you haven't seen Scott Mann's one-man show, that will, if you're a veteran, even if you're not a veteran, that's going to make you cry. And then you got Ara Sapaya from the Golf Channel. I mean, this is a who's who. Not to mention, you've got your dad that you got to do the chapter on the Golden Rule. Ed Lujan, amazing. I've got to mention Bo Eason is part of it. I mean, it's a who's who. John Buffett, Tyler's dad is in it. So what a great lineup of people. John talks about saving, which, you're going to hear about saving from a Buffett, right? That's amazing to hear somebody from that family talk about. But, I'll tell you, the most powerful chapter for me was Bo Eason's chapter on imagination. When he wrote out as a kid, he had a picture of himself playing in the NFL. And then he just kept that picture and inspired me to write a picture of myself a year from now, helping leaders be better and them thanking me. But it's so powerful that image stayed with him. And then he grew up and shared it with his family when he was an older kid. All great chapters. How did you get all these people together, Jerry?
I've been extremely fortunate to work with, get trained by, and train and mentor some of the highest performers in the world at their craft. And as we started developing this, we were very purposeful about who do we know or can get connected to that does these things at the highest level. So it's not theory. It's like this is practical things that they've done. And like I said, it was a blessing that when we reached out to them and told them what we were doing and the impact that we felt it could have literally on the world, and that everybody could go at their own pace, we really didn't have anybody say no. And so it took us a while to connect with everybody and get the interviews done and things, and then get them edited. But we are so excited and actually proud of the end result that came out of it, and the impact that we believe it can have on anybody who's interested in learning and growing.
And one of the things you mentioned is, so we talked about that all-star lineup. I forgot to mention Kathy Colby, which is the other assessment you use at Elevation 180. You use the Colby assessment. She gave the section on self-confidence. Here's what I learned, Jerry. As I went through and I filled out the scorecard, and we'll put a link in the comments so people can get to it and get a preview of that scorecard. But that scorecard kind of takes you through the 16 laws, and it helps you evaluate yourself. So you evaluate yourself on self-confidence. And I've been known to be a little self-confident. And then you fill out the form and you give yourself a pre-score, and then you listen to the module, and then you read the chapter, and then you go back and you kind of, oh crud, you evaluate yourself. Maybe I'm not as good as I thought I was. So you get a little good self-awareness, or like, hey, maybe I'm not as high as I thought I was. And then you come back after you finish the whole thing, and then you give yourself a final score. It gives you 3 different points to look at yourself, evaluate yourself. And so Lead Different is about leading different through the power of self-awareness. If you're a leader out there who wants to get better aware of who you are, if you're looking for direction, this course is for you. Or if you're a leader of leaders, if we're looking at, if we talk about the fact, I was a national sales director at Baxter, so I was managing lots of leaders who led lots of teams. If you have leaders in your organization that you think could use that self-awareness, I couldn't recommend this course enough, because it makes you think you have imagination, right? You give yourself a high school, and then you listen to Bo Eason and how he was able to use the power of imagination to achieve tremendous achievements. It is really a great course. So Jerry, what is the ideal audience for this? I kind of talked a little bit about who I think should come to it. Who are you looking to impact?
So there's been people in their 90s that have taken it, that still want to learn, still want to think about their own self-awareness and where they're going and what kind of impact they have, all the way down into, actually, I'd say, teenagers or late teenagers who are, I'd say, looking for self-awareness, looking for direction, but willing to be vulnerable about themselves, tell the truth about where they are, and then want to learn about, from people who have done it at the highest level, what are they doing in order to help them move forward at their craft. And that's why what we're excited about is, this isn't theory. I guess in a way, there's the chapters and you can read them, but there's practical things that every speaker gives as to what they do and what they've done in order to elevate their performance. And so I think it's for anyone who's really searching for direction. And I guess the key to it is, are they willing to listen? Are they coachable? Do they want to do some work in order to get where they want to go? It's very predictable, if they do the work, that they are going to get where they want to go, because they will, by the end of it, have a lot better direction as to their purpose and ways how to get there.
I love that you mentioned direction, and the name of the company is the Direction Company. So just like at Elevation 180, your direction has been helped a lot by having Kelly. You brought Kelly on to that company also. So Kelly acts as your COO at the Direction Company. You've got Tyler in the CEO role, and then you're the chairman of the board. What does, you mentioned it earlier, Kelly brought some structure to the, she is famous for that. Her why is right way. And boy, is she a stickler for process, systems, and creating the structure that you needed. Tell me a little bit about the members of the team. Tell me a little bit, why Tyler? I know you guys have a history, because you were his baseball coach back when he was a little guy. And obviously you've known Kelly your whole life, but how do you take the different whys, the different Kolbe energies, and bring them together in this endeavor to help more people know themselves better and move in the right direction faster?
Yeah. So it all started with Tyler. He went through the course. Both his parents went through the course, and he went through the course. And he had after he had gone through the course, he had some pretty tough times in his life as a youngster. He graduated from college, went into professional baseball, got injured. His career was over. He came into a family business that he was asked to run it. And within 6 months, he had gotten married and divorced. And so one night he saw me and he said, I asked him how he was doing. And he said, well, I'm doing okay, only because I had some direction from this course, and mentors. I mean, I was fortunate to coach him for about 10 years, along with his dad. But he said, we need to bring this to the world. We're both better way people. We're both quick starts when we talk about the Kolbe. And so ideas and things are what we get the most amount of energy on, and creating things. Well, we were creating a lot of things, but we didn't have any structure behind it to make it to where it could stick and other people could get it at the same level that we did. And about that time is when Kelly came back from LA, started doing some work with me, and her why is right way, her how is mastery, and her what is trust. And so we needed significantly more structure than what we had. And Kelly came in, first of all, kind of as helping us. And not long afterwards, Tyler and I said, man, we really need her in the company, as to lead it so it's sustainable. And so she became a partner in it also. And so I'm fortunate to be now partners in 2 different businesses with Kelly, and a partner in this other business, the Direction Company, with Tyler. It's so much fun working with younger people who are really smart and ambitious and want to have an impact on people's lives. And so that's kind of the structure that we have. When you said chairman of the board, I mean, we're not a real big company, but I'm more kind of a mentor, an advisor, and they're the 2 workhorses that put everything together to make it all happen. And so it's fun seeing come to fruition and starting to have the impact that we were hoping for.
Well, having worked with you for a few years, Jerry, knowing your history, and we've gotten to know each other really well. I know this, Jerry's no dummy. And one of my favorite things you say is, what is it? I'm not very smart, but I make up for it by being slow. I tell you what, you bringing in Kelly is a master move. And folks that are listening, you're going to get to hear from Kelly, and you're going to get to hear from Tyler also. We wanted to have Jerry to kick us off, but I can tell you that Kelly's just rock solid, and Tyler's a rock star. You know, one of the things that he shared in his interview, and so I can share it because we're going to air it. He talked about that dark time in his life, and he had the course on tape, and he listened to it. And his family business takes him all over the state of New Mexico. And for those of you that aren't familiar with New Mexico, you can't fly to too many places in New Mexico. You've got to just get in the car and drive 4 hours to Ruidoso, New Mexico. There's not a whole lot other ways you can get there unless you want to take a puddle jumper and take your chances that you make it. So, you know, he had a lot of time, and little by little, the lessons started sinking in, and it made such an impact on him to go from a really dark place to a place where he started seeing the positives and living forward instead of looking backward, which was a huge change for him. So you coached him in Little League. You've probably done a little bit of coaching with him now as a young professional. As a matter of fact, you and I worked with him and his company when we took them through their retreat, and we learned so much about Tyler, about John, and the rest of the family. What do you attribute which is Tyler's biggest strength that he brings to the Direction Company?
Well, one is he grew up in a family that appreciated hard work. And so that's a given with him, that you're going to get that. And you can't go and play at the level that he did at college baseball as a pitcher, pitch in the College World Series, play professional baseball for a few years, if you don't have kind of the grit, heart, determination, and be purpose driven. And so he's got a lot going on. He's running the family business. He's involved in this. He's so purposeful about when he sets his mind to do something, that he goes out and does it. And so, as I said, it's such a joy to see somebody that wants to work at it, is a learner, is open to suggestions, and then goes and does what he says he's going to do. It's just fun working with somebody like that.
So I will tell you, he's the oldest young man I've ever met. He's incredibly mature. When you look at, you talked about that, he became injured, then he lost his pro career, then he lost his wife. I mean, you talk about, they say that there are events in your life that can knock you down, and one of them is, losing. Obviously, divorce is a big deal. The other one is losing your job. And the other one is being unhealthy, right? Having an injury. So he had all three of those things happen to him, just boom, 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 and then knock a regular person down and out. And he was able to pick himself up, and now he's giving back. So what a great team you've assembled there, Jerry. One of the things I want to ask, and I asked this on Why Not Wednesday, I like to ask it on Lead Different because we've got a different audience. Tell us about a moment in your life. So Why Not Leadership is all about saying why not. I just saw a post today about Michael Kelly, I think, wrote a book. There's a book written, the top regrets of the dying. And he gave 25 regrets that people have when they die. And that's what Why Not Leadership's about. At the end of our life, Jerry, we're not going to regret the things we did. We're going to regret the things we didn't do, right? What did we not do? What did we not say why not to? What was that opportunity that showed itself to you and you didn't say why not and go for it? Go for it. So tell us about your biggest why not moment, Jerry.
Yeah, so we talked a little bit about the appointment that I had at the park with Kelly, and she asked me why I didn't love her. Well, I had to completely change gears, and we were fortunate enough to really grow the business. But over time, what I found was that I developed a process as to how to grow and started helping other people. I didn't know my why was better way, but when I figured that out, it was like, oh, no wonder I created a better way how to do things. And long and short is, over time, I started realizing that I was having more fun and probably more impactful helping other people grow rather than just doing it myself. My bride of now 36 plus years, my children, my friends all said, Jerry, you seem like you have the most fun, or the most energetic, and are the most impactful when you're coaching people. So at the very top of my game in the insurance business, and a partner in a family business that was established in 1926. And in the introduction, you said third generation. There's actually now five generations involved in that business. I decided to sell my interest in the business at what I would say the top of my game, and start coaching other people. And so had I not done that, wouldn't be partners with Kelly now, wouldn't be partners in this other business with Tyler. I wouldn't have met all the people that I met that were speakers, titans, if you want to call them, in the direction company. And so many things have opened up in my life as a result of doing something probably most people thought was pretty unconventional. Matter of fact, I literally had thousands of people ask me, why in the world would you have sold your interest in the business, gone out on your own and started completely over when you were at the top of your game? And I can say it's the biggest blessing of my life.
Man, that is, I'm so glad you shared that story, Jerry. I think people need to hear that. I think there are a lot of us who would be afraid. I can imagine how secure that was, and taking that leap and starting all over on your own, and coaching. And I will tell you, Jerry, from my perspective, from a selfish perspective, the coaching you've given me, the impact you've had on my life, is tremendous. And I want to thank you for what you've done for me. And I want to make sure and give you an opportunity to tell people where can they go? Should they go to the directioncompany.com if they want to learn some more about this new project that you've started? Because I want to do that. And then I have one final question for you.
Yeah, that's a good place to go for people that are searching, looking for direction, looking for ways how to improve their life. The directioncompany.com is the place to go for that. And Dan, for you, and thanks for your kind words. And it's been a pleasure working with you. We want to, and I guess you can put it in your notes there, but we want to make an offer of a pretty substantial discount for your audience to be able to have access to the Catalyst for Lifelong Direction course that we created. Another place, if anyone has any interest in looking kind of what we're doing as a whole, is elevation180.com. That Kelly and I partner in, and we do a few different things in that organization also. But they're all aligned with everyone we connect with elevates their performance.
I love that. So my final question, Jerry, is, we know your dad, who's an amazing man, comes to the office every day, is still going strong at his age. What would you say to your dad if he was listening? And I know he will listen, and we'll play it for him, or we'll get it out on our phone and play it for him. What would you say to your dad about the great start he got you off to by reading from the Law of Success and teaching you the 16 lessons? What would you say to him if he was sitting here and you could give him a shout out?
Well, I'm grateful to have him. He's 91 years old now. We still office together. He still comes to the office virtually every day. But one thing he told me since I was a really young boy, he's been my main mentor my entire life. And so there's no one I'm more grateful to have had in my life than my dad, Edward. But he always said, Jerry, our gifts, and he would point to all of us, anybody. He'd say our gifts, whether God-given or earned through hard work and preparation, those gifts aren't meant for ourselves. They're meant to be shared with the world to make a difference greater than ourselves. And I've never forgotten that of what he said. And I feel that as a result of that wisdom and guidance, it's shaped my life into, first of all, trying to understand what potential gifts I have or could have. And then once we find them, and how do we share them with other people to make the world a greater place? Because that's what makes the world go around. And I think these kinds of things can start having, no one else is coming, so we've got to do everything we can to help bring the world back together. And I'm just grateful for him, for his wisdom, his respect, his tolerance, and his sharing of his wisdom with as many people as he have. And I've just been a sponge all my life to learn from him. And I couldn't have a greater blessing than that.
Man, Jerry, that is a great answer, a great tribute to your dad. We're thankful for Ed Lujan for bringing Jerry Lujan into our world. We're thankful for Jerry Lujan bringing Kelly Lujan into our world, and the beat goes on. You did mention third generation versus fifth generation. Well, you've gotten older. You were third generation.
Yeah,
now it's five generations, right?
Then my hair wasn't so gray, my friend.
Well, Jerry,
that's okay.
That's a great answer. What do you say we end the show on that note?
Why not?
Thank you so much, Jerry. I appreciate you. And you did that right on cue. No practice. I appreciate it. Guys, this has been a pleasure. It's so great to bring Jerry Lujan to you. Tune in next week on the Lead Different podcast, and we'll bring another great guest. But right now, we're going to say goodbye to Jerry. Thank you so much, and we'll see you soon, Jerry.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Dan.